The Samaritan woman in today's passage from the Gospel of John, the woman at the well, may be the most broken woman in all of the Gospels. We see that the very fact that she comes at noon when it's scorching hot to draw water, rather than in the coolness of the early morning when the other women of the village would be there, that suggests rather strongly that at the very least she is ashamed of herself. In all likelihood, she is the subject of a lot of gossip and scorn in the village. People look down on her because of her past, her brokenness. So here she is, trying to avoid being seen, and instead there is someone at the well, and not just anyone, but a man. And not just a man, but a Jewish man. And in that time and place, men and women were not to be seen in public together. And Jews and Samaritans had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with one another. So she is startled to see him there, and she is even more startled that this man is speaking with her. And the gospel tells us that Jesus is tired. And as he addresses this lonely and ashamed woman, he asks, "Give me a drink." And it is an invitation for his thirst to be quenched, but also an invitation to be at risk. It's an invitation to cross a barrier and an ancient taboo. But we notice how Jesus does not look down upon her as the others do. He calls no attention to her brokenness. Instead, he acknowledges his own human brokenness. He is tired. He is thirsty. And what Jesus is seeking here is someone who can share his thirst for his ministry, his thirst for the salvation of all, his thirst for peace. What we call sometimes God's shalom. And this peace is in turn a thirst for justice. This thirst is a real cry out for healing for all people, especially people like this particular woman. And most of all, Jesus thirsts for dignity and respect, not just for this woman, not just for Jewish people, but for all people. After some, what appears to us very frank conversation, her response is one of nothing less than total commitment. She who had no life, no purpose, but only heartache, pain, and shame, is suddenly given a great gift, the gift of eternal life with Jesus, who is revealed to her as the Christ, God's anointed one. As we move toward Holy Week, during this holy season of Lent, we remember that as the story nears its conclusion on the cross, Jesus is still thirsty. He is still thirsty today. And we are, in a certain sense, that Samaritan woman. We come to the well week after week. And week after week, Jesus asks us for a drink. And we know the kinds of things for which he thirsts: peace, forgiveness, hope.